As a teen who lives in Madagascar, here are the pros and cons of living in this country. If you don't know me yet, hi, my name is Candy, I'm 16 and I live and come from Madagascar because a lot of people are actually interested in traveling here, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to do kind of a comparison. I also did like separate videos on my TikTok about things that I like and that I don't like, but a YouTube video is much longer and so I can say a lot of different things in one video. Number one is the affordable cost of living. Food, transport, clothes, those are really cheap compared to what I've seen in other countries. I'm not too sure about housing because I don't really do research on that. I don't really ask my parents how much this house is, and I don't plan on living here on the long run, so I don't do a lot of research about how to budget according to living here in Madagascar. It seems like it is cheap. Number two is obviously the nature, the biodiversity, the animals, the flora and fauna. I think that's one of the things that I will definitely miss about Madagascar because it's so unique and it's something that, it's not often seen in other parts of the world. And I'm so glad that I get to claim this country and say I come from Madagascar because it's such a beautiful country in terms of nature and biodiversity. And I don't think I need to expand on that because most people, when they hear about Madagascar, they either think about the movie or they think about the beaches, the environment and whatever. Apart from that, the weather. This also kind of ties into the natural environment of the country, but the weather is amazing if you're a fan of hot weather. That is, I'm not a fan. I don't like hot weather, but if you do, then it's great. A lot of people from colder countries have said that they liked the fact that Madagascar is really hot and all that. Yeah, but it's relative. Typically it's nice because it's tropical, This does not include big cities, right? If you go to the big cities, you might think I'm lying. There's less pollution if you go out of the big cities. And honestly, I wish the bigger cities were like this, but unfortunately it isn't. But if you want like a breath of fresh air, untouched nature, whatever, you can go to the other places that aren't too crowded, aren't too polluted. Then we also have really welcoming people and I think a pretty laid back rhythm of life. Life isn't really... Here it's much more laid back, especially if you have the money, but even if you don't, especially out of the capital city, because the capital city is crazy, everybody's rushing, you know what I mean. But if you go to like any other place, it's much more laid back. People aren't really worrying about the hustle culture as much as other countries, based on what I've seen on the news, on social media. But yeah, and also people are very welcoming to tourists or to just foreigners in general if you're respectful. A lot of people will try to kind of speak your language. So if you speak English, they will do their best with their English that they have to speak your language. If you speak French, they'll speak French. There's very poor infrastructure. I don't think this is like new for any African country because Africa is Africa. Unfortunately, that is what we have to live with. But very poor infrastructure. You might not get the same facilities that you would get in a more developed country, which brings me to my next point. There aren't a lot of good, high quality public facilities that you can use. That is just how it is. Very limited good quality education, transport, government services, etc. So that's just the way it is here. We have to just live with it, which is why I want to get out sooner or later, and I don't plan on living here in the long run. Then we also have the very unstable economy. If you've done some research about the economy of Madagascar, you can tell that it is not in a good state right now. Like a lot of African countries as well. I feel like African countries share the same group chat because this is how it is. As I said in my previous TikTok video, power cuts and water cuts, which ties into the infrastructure, I guess. There's a lot of power cuts, sometimes very unexpected. Recently, it's been okay. They've only cut it out for like 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes maximum, but sometimes it can go up to like 6 hours in the worst case scenarios. Then we have like a lot of Then we have a lot of technological gaps because it's not as advanced, and so a lot of technology that people use in the Western world might not be available in Madagascar because of the limited technology and the gaps that we have, which I'm hoping will change, because I see a lot of ambitious young people, and I hope that, you know, these people will bring about change in the country. But for now, there's still a lot of gaps. Then we have language barriers, because the majority of people speak either Malagasy, which is our native language, as I explained in this video, or French. And so if you speak English, you won't be able to communicate as well as if you were to speak French, or even better, Malagasy. Then we also have quite a lot of safety concerns. Now, this kind of depends on the area, but some people are really scared of like pickpocketing and theft and corruption, especially in the bigger cities. I haven't really experienced a lot of this outside of the capital city, or not the capital city, but a big provincial city. It's not very often that I see that in the more rural areas, but in the big cities, you definitely have to be a little bit more careful and cautious. Because I've seen these disadvantages in 10 other African countries. So I think that it's obvious, if you're coming to Madagascar, you should know that it's Africa, and African leaders share the same group, and apparently they want to do the same thing in every single country. But yeah, I'm just kidding. Don't come at me. Yeah, I think that's about all. If you have any video suggestions, comment them down. I will be doing a food video, an updated food video, because I feel like my previous video it wasn't really what I wanted to do. And when I do have the time and the resources to film like street food and restaurants and all that stuff, I will be making that video as soon as I can. But right now I'm busy. Again, I am a teen and I do school. I do a lot of different things, content creation, I volunteer, I'm planning to make my own non-profit association, and I'm doing sports. It's just really hard to kind of juggle content creation with that as well. So if you don't mind waiting, I would really appreciate it. Anyways, that's all for today. Bye.